Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do a video on Homeschool Mom Tag, and I just have the questions on my phone, so you'll see me looking down a bit. I haven't actually read them beforehand, so I'm just kind of winging it at this moment. We'll see how it works out after editing. So number one would be, do you have a set budget for your homeschool? And currently we don't actually have a set budget for our homeschool. We don't actually have a budget for anything at the moment, so throughout the year when I find curriculum that might work for us, or games, or online programs that work for us, I usually find them and buy them. As with everything else in our life, I don't usually buy anything that's full price. So most of our curriculum items are a lot lower cost than you would see in store or online. And so since it's distributed throughout the year, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to how much we're spending and just end up buying things that I think are a good price or that will actually help our children in the long run. In the future, this year, we're actually starting a budget for the rest of our life, so we'll probably implement a budget for that as well. And if our children do continue to homeschool, which we're not really sure about right now, then we do get reimbursed a little bit, so I'll try and figure out how to incorporate that. They do take piano lessons, so that's a big cost there, and that usually takes up pretty much the whole budget for home-based education that we get where we live. So everything else is covered by us. But we do find that piano is really important, so we continue with that. Next question, although my phone turned off. Question number 2 would be, were you homeschooled? And I was definitely not homeschooled. I went to public school, several different public schools. One of them was French immersion, and that was in kindergarten, and another one had advanced programs, and that was in grade 10. But I didn't find that public school really challenged me at all, and neither did my husband, so that's kind of why we settled on homeschooling. Number 3 is, did you always know that you'd homeschool your children? And no. When I first had children, I didn't even think about having that option of homeschooling or just basically going off of what society normally does. My husband is not a big fan of being a sheep and questions basically everything that society does, so he's the one that kind of questioned that. My 3 favorite books in our homeschooling library. If it was like novel type books, I'm not really sure because we have quite an array of books. We no longer have any of our specifically adult books in our library. It's all just children's books. And basically anytime we go out, we usually stop at a thrift store where the books are basically $5 for $5, and we end up buying probably between 5 to 10 more to put on the shelves. So Theo has 3 shelves in his room, which are always stuffed full, and he switches those out depending on what he's reading at the time. And then we have several shelves downstairs, which are constantly overflowing with books. So it's hard to kind of, I guess, pick 1 or 3, as the case may be. I do like the Little House on the Prairie series as one, as well as the classics like Charlotte's Web, and one of Theo's favorites is The Time Machine. We actually bought him the abridged version, and he told us that it was stupid and that he wanted the full version. And now I just bought him the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea abridged version, and I have an inkling that he's going to actually ask for the full version, and I need to just like stop buying the abridged versions because he's not going to read them. I also like the books like Hatchet and Other Side of the Mountain, basically kind of the ones that you read in school that I usually liked those ones, so I like giving those to the children to read, and they have a lot more content than some of the books that our kids pick out. As for curriculum books, we don't really stick to a whole lot. We do use some Saxon Math for some of our kids and Math Mammoth for other kids, and that's pretty much the only thing that we actually stick to curriculum-wise, which may be another question that I accidentally just answered. Are you the only teacher, or does your spouse help? Dustin helps when he's home during the week. We don't get them to do homeschool on the weekends, and that's when Dustin's home from work. So most of the time I'm the only teacher, but on days where he has off, then he helps out, as well as if they're not quite done their school, by the time that he gets home, he will help them out. And if I just can't describe something in a way that they understand, I will wait for that part for Dustin to come home so that he can kind of reword it in a way that so that he can reword it in a different way so that they can possibly understand. Where's your favorite place to buy homeschool curriculum? Thrift stores actually have a lot of homeschool curriculum. We also went to the homeschool convention here in Saskatchewan, and they had a lot of stuff to choose from, which was really cheap, and so that was really nice as well. And then we've actually met some people that are teachers or sell curriculum to the schools, and so they had leftover samples and things like that, and they've given us those as well. So basically anywhere that's cheap, anywhere that's not full price. Our Facebook homeschool buyers group, I also like to get stuff from. Yeah, basically anywhere that's cheap, so it's probably used, and that's kind of my favorite thing, is just frugal. What are your 2 must-have school supplies? Probably just pencils and paper, or pencils and a blank book, because I think that free writing is really important as well as drawing, so the kids do spend a lot of time doodling and doing journals. I don't actually mark their journals for punctuation or spelling or things like that. It's mostly just content to get them writing and inspired. So yeah, basically just a pencil and paper, fairly simple. What is my favorite / least favorite subject to teach? I like the art portion because we do a lot of doodling and, like I said, freestyle kind of stuff, so seeing what they come up with. Theo likes to draw comics. To kind of see what he comes up with is always interesting. The girls really like to draw. They pretty much draw all day long a lot of the time because their electronic time is limited, so if it is, they usually spend a lot of time just drawing and doodling, and we often have pictures that need to be taken off the fridge to make room for more pictures. Least favorite would be math, because math is a struggle for Theo, and it's always been. It's not that he's bad at it, he doesn't like it. So it makes it difficult to kind of, I guess, get through that when he gets frustrated and we get frustrated, and then we both are very stubborn, so we kind of butt heads and neither of us get anywhere. Are you involved in co-ops or homeschool groups? We actually live an hour from the city where all the homeschool groups are. There aren't a lot of homeschoolers around here. And then there's another town / city that is an hour and a half away. We do sometimes go to the homeschool group meetup that is an hour and a half away, and that only happens once a month. We've been there once, and I'd like to go more. I didn't really know a whole lot about it, and again, it's an hour and a half away, so we have to be a little bit committed to go there. This year they've changed it so that it'll probably be interfering with our dance schedule, so I don't know if we'll make it out there. We are going to have to research the other city that we are close by, well, not close by, but an hour from, to see what kind of homeschool groups they have there. Is one big thing that holds me back from homeschooling consistently, is that they don't have as much socialization with the homeschool groups because we live so far from a lot of the groups, so it makes it a bit hard. And what is our approach? We don't really have a specific approach. We try things, and if they work, then great, and if they don't, we move on to a different method. Like I said, we've used Math Mammoth as well as Saxon Math, and one works for one child and the other works for the other child. We also use a lot of online-based programs for reinforcing their math and English as well. If you have not done the Homeschool Tag yet, I encourage you to try it out. You can search some of the videos on YouTube, and I will put the questions that I answered down below. And if you like this video and want to see more about our homeschooling and our family, then please click like and subscribe, and that way you'll never miss a video from us. Thanks for watching. See ya!